Mechanics got up early this morning, took the bikes up through the scrutineering to the holding area tents, and then all the schedule was going as planned.
Practice or qualified on the TT course today.
I got in my leathers, went up, we got called up onto the start line. The newcomers set off, and then we got an announcement that the rain is coming and that they're not going to continue any further practices. So now I'm just back to the RV, and the rain is actually here. It's coming. You can see it's on the windows. So now I've got another day of waiting. Andy's got a mad tool for doing things like that.
Yeah.
Might be worn out.
So right now we should be coming down here. Instead.
Arai experience would have been from my dad, actually. So
We can do that.
if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it wasn't necessarily my first experience with Arai, but when I first ever would have been on a motorcycle would have been with my dad, and he had a Brad Lackey replica Arai helmet for trail bike riding, and that stands out in my memory. It was a red, white, and blue design, and had the studs where the visor clipped on. Obviously, we're talking about quite a few years back now, but that's the very first Arai that sort of stands out in my memory. I feel like the quality and the comfort and the reliability, there's a huge spectrum of attributes that the brand and the product has that gives me confidence in using the product. Okay, so the design has a few features. It's got some glitter paint, which is just cool. It's got some of my regular zebra sort of pattern in it. It's got the sort of bad boy face on the back. It's got the Australian flag kind of design incorporated, and it's got lots of Dow Racing livery that's my British Superbike racing team that are supporting me here whilst I'm racing at the TT.
That's why it's so yeah.
Oh, you'll see it here. Obviously, the camera faces that way, so you get a bit more everything.
Bad up on top.
So I've just been randomly selected for a drug and alcohol test. It is fairly standard procedure. I had the same happen last year. So it used to be a urine test. Now it's a saliva test. But either way, I come up with, as I would expect, a negative result. So all good. So Monday practice was cancelled. Tuesday wasn't looking good either, but it rained all day until about probably 2 o'clock. But they're optimistic that it would come brighter in the evening. So all the preparations were made to go ahead on Tuesday evening for practice. And we did get to ride. The track conditions weren't ideal. Was, let's say, 95% dry all the way around, but where it was wet was still, quite tricky to negotiate. Yeah, the vision's not the best. I only had 2 tear-offs, so I had to be strategic when to take it off. There's a lot of damp patches around. The second lap was a lot better than the first lap, but still, yeah, a lot of damp patches. But I mean, everyone kind of knew that before we set off, so it was actually really fun laps because like I set off and I was sort of just doing my own thing for a bit, and then Hutchie come past. So I sat with Hutchie, and then Harrison come past, and then Davey come past, and then Hillier come past, and it was sort of like a bit of a group, and we all sort of spread out. And then as I sort of got a bit better of a rhythm, I kind of like started to catch people back up again. And then for some reason, the bunch all came back together. I think Davey and Dean that were at the front of the group kind of slowed off just coming over the mountain. So the whole group just kind of got back together, and it was like just a train of riders. It was actually a really fun, enjoyable experience.
Mate, obviously last year, your last race was a podium on the Via du Loup. How's that Honda faring up this year?
Well, at Northwest, we had a lot of troubles with stability. So we not with the Super Sport, but with the Superbike and Super Stock. So we've made changes during the Northwest and got it better, but there's still areas to improve. So we've made changes again, and I'll head out on the big bikes now and see if that's those changes have actually made the bike feel good.
I know you never want to stop making changes, mate.
It's the nature of a motorbike rider is to always bring back bad news so we can make it better. But yeah, I mean, we definitely have some stability problems at Northwest. So yeah, it's not just me looking to refine the package. Actually, was a big step we need to take. So hopefully we've made that.
Hey, thanks for showing, mate. I'll leave you to get on.
No problem. Thanks.
Back to you guys.
There's some other places where I was like, not really thinking about it. It was kind of like bang. And I was like, oh, is that falling through the stroke too easy, or is it kicking off over the bump? So I was like way back.
Front body straight.
Yep.
Go through a fast right kick down a hill, and then come over like a little jump, then go into like a right left before Henley's. And it's that downhill right left. It's like it's all open. You think, oh, this should dry up straight away to the wind flow. It was one lap.
Numbers 21 to 40, 21 to 40 to the south road. Control out.
The good news is we got, well, I got 4 laps, so 2 on Super Sport, 1 on Superbike, 1 on Super Stock. I think everyone was pleased to have some track time. You can't come out here either. It's from my dad. My dad had one of those. Yes. what they get it, just have it in the shed. So one day you walk in, you know, like rubbernecking, like. Yeah. My clutch basket was completely worn, like all notched out, so I could never get a start on it. Oh no.
First day today.
All right.
Yeah. You working? The first race was good.
So yesterday was Wednesday. We had full dry conditions all day, so the evening practice went ahead as planned. Everyone got good quality riding in. I would say I can only speak for myself. I got 2 laps on, no, I went 1 lap on Super Stock, 2 laps on Superbike, 2 laps on Super Sport.
Numbers 21 to 40, 21 to 40 to the start line.
You've got to turn the electronics off. Better than the other one.
Background, please. Control out.
The second line, nearly the end of the first lap. I was like, should I stop?
30, 21 to 30 to the south road.
Hedge to
Control
hedge to
out.
hedge is like, oh, I'm fast. Then Dean come past and go, ooh. I was like, maybe not so fast.
And then that brings us to today, Thursday, and it's unlikely that there'll be any practice this evening. It's rained heavily overnight. It still looks like it's probably raining in parts of the island right now. There's probably going to be showers on and off for the whole day, and the forecast for this evening isn't much better. So even if the track was to dry out, it wouldn't be a condition that's probably suitable for practice. So it's unlikely that we'll do any practice this evening. So as I've mentioned, this evening's practice is unlikely to go ahead, and yet we still see all this mechanical work going on. So at BSB, most of this sort of work is just cleaning, whereas here it's a little bit more in depth. The reason the bikes are being stripped down and so much work's going on is just inspecting everything, checking for cracks and damage. The forces that are put on the bike around a circuit like the Isle of Man specifically, all road circuits are a bit harder than racetracks, but the TT seems to be at the top of the list for being hard wearing on components of the bike. So everything's checked for any signs of damage, cracks, fatigue, any bolts becoming loose for whatever reason. And then there's things that seem probably a bit more obvious, like pulling the airbox apart, checking for any stones and leaves and debris that would come up off the surface. We'll also spend time inspecting the radiator, because the radiator's on the front of the bike and there's so much debris on the TT circuit. It's very common for stones to impact the radiator and cause damage. So every part of the radiator needs to be inspected to be sure that there isn't anything that would cause a leak. Obviously, being a public road, again, it's far dirtier than any racetrack, so there's an excessive amount of cleaning to be done. And normally when you're doing thorough cleaning is when you can see something has a crack or something's damaged. And then in extreme cases, not so much for us right now, but there are cases when the bikes will bottom out so heavily that the fairings will drag on the surface of the road, and then the fairing needs fiberglass repairs to make sure it stays with structural integrity, or at least stops it from having any holes in it.